Hello there, it's Carrie Rhoades here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. In today's video, we are playing with another box die. Now, last week, I shared a box die that was a slimline envelope with add-on, so you could make this really cool box. I'm going to show you a different slimline box die today, and it is the wide box slimline card. It's like a pop-up. It's so fun to make little scenes in, and we're going to be making this card right here. So full of so much fun. So here is the main die for this set. You're going to cut two of these to create the box. Those pieces look like this. You want the flaps at the top that fold down and the tabs on the side where you put your adhesive. There's dies to create layers for the panels, and one of them is going to cover the back so it stays standing up and the flaps don't fold down. And then you will want to put some of your paper on the inside as well. So I'm going to show you where to put all these fun stitched panels that come with the die set. I had this like chicken wire paper in my stash for years, and I decided it was time to pull it out and use it. You know, let's stop the hoarding and use the paper. So here's all the pieces I'm using for my card. This is what the outside of the box will look like, and when I turn it over, you can see what the inside looks like. I don't need pattern paper on those bottom flaps. Okay, so I put adhesive on the flap, which is on the outside of the box, and I like to use a little liquid glue for really strong adhesion. Once I have those stuck together and the glue has dried, I'm going to fold down on all the flaps, and then I can go ahead and close this box up. Now, you could add your inside pieces where you're going to add your scene before you do this if that's like your thing. I think I have found I like putting them in after better. I can get them a little bit straighter if I do. So just do the way that works best for you. So now we have our box all put together, and we're going to work on the parts that go inside. There is a die for those pieces, and it has tabs on the end. It looks just like this, and it's the perfect size. So I'm going to cut actually 6 of these to make 3 arms because I like to double them up. Because it's a slimline size, I want those arms or bars to be really sturdy. So I glued them back to back, added adhesive to the end, and I'm using the Spring Chicken stamp set and coordinating die set that came out last year. I believe it was last year's release. I had yet to make an actual card with this, so it was high time I did that, and I just feel like spring is the perfect time because chicks are out. I know my bestie has got chicks for her chicken coop in the backyard, and so I just thought this is a really fun set. After stamping the chicken, I felt like I needed some of the chickens facing the other way because I want a lot of chickens in my scene. So I'm using this block that allows you to stamp in reverse. It's like a miniature gel press, and I've used my gel press before to do reverse stamping. And somebody recommended to me, one of my viewers, to put it in the MISTI so you could stamp it more than once to really intensify the color of the ink, and it works like a dream. So I did that, and you want to make sure and wipe it off right away because if you don't use a water-based ink, it will like stain that little stamp and the impression will stay there forever. So I made sure and wiped it off right away with the chicken, and it came off really well. Okay, so here you can see I'm doing some very simple Copic coloring for my chicks and my chickens, and I did do one rooster there, and I'm using some warm grays just to add a little shadow in for the white areas, which I'm just going to leave the chickens mostly white, except for their beak, feet, and their little top feathers, their little wattle parts. I just think they're like a cute set of chickens. So for the rooster, I wanted to bring in lots of color. I did look up some pictures of roosters, and there are some very colorful roosters. Not that I've seen very many of them up close, but my fair share. And so I wanted to really go to town with all the color. And you know, this is a stamp, so either you can make it super realistic, or you can just have fun with the colors, which is what I decided to do. So if you like your super realistic, you can do that, or just have fun doing whatever colors makes you happy. So for the chicken coop, I'm doing a white coop with some blue accents. I thought bringing in some blue would be really fun with the color combination that I have, which is that kind of dark yellow color, and I needed just, you know, a few pops of color here and there. So I did some blue on the trim and the shingles, and I think it looks really cute. Okay, it's time to die cut out all the things, and I'm going to show you my little tip for die cutting out the reversed stamped images, but there are dies in this set for all of the images plus the sentiments, which I'm going to use a bunch of the sentiments on my card today. Now, I adjusted the color here. It looks bad, but I wanted you to be able to see I taped the die to the back by holding this up to my aught light if you have a really strong desk light, and I just taped it in place. And then I was really nervous that I would mess it up, but it actually die cut out really well, cutting it from the back with just a light. You could even hold this up against a window. My second one didn't die cut quite as well. You know, sometimes the die shifts, but I used it anyway. So let's go ahead and glue our scenes. So I find scene building with this kind of wide box die really easy to do. You're just like gluing things straight across onto this bar. So I did my first layer with the coop, the rooster, and 2 chickens, and I've got a chicken facing both directions, which really sets my scene up really well. So I'm loving that. I think that reverse stamp works really well. Of course, there's plenty of other tools out there you can do reverse stamping. Like I said, I have done the same exact thing on my gel press, but the one I used is a little bit thinner, which allowed me to put it in my Misty, which I feel is a game changer. Okay, when I put these bars in, I use double stick tape or rip and stick tape that Trinity carries. It's super strong. Plus you can move it for a minute after you stick it down, but I also like to add the glue because these bars are going to move when you open and shut the card. I like the tabs to be flush against the back of the card when I do this first layer, and I like to just hold it in place and then fold the card like it's shut to squeeze it and hold it in place again before I do my next one. So for the next one, I'm going to do some chickens and some chicks. The chicks are really cute. There's 3 different chicks in the set. I think I stamped like 12. And when I pulled out my dies, I realized I already had some. I had to use the tweezers here. Yeah. Tools are important, but I already had some of these stamped in my with my dies, so I actually used even more than I stamped here just to really fill in the scene, and I didn't mind doing a bunch of these because they were so easy to color. All right, so when I do my next row, I like to put the tabs up against the first row of tabs. Now, I did pretty good on the right-hand side. The left-hand side, I didn't quite get them straight, but the card worked out fine. Okay, I am bringing in this outdoor border set and using the picket fence. It's just like the cutest set of dies for outdoor scenes, and this fence makes me so happy. Isn't it the cutest? So you could use this on any size card because you can trim it down, but the fact that it comes in slimline is what allows you to do it on any card. You know, your 5x7, your A9s, your slimlines, your mini slimline, this box card. So I absolutely love that it is in such a long size because I can, you know, cut it and have it fit anywhere. So I'm adding just a few chicks to this. They're not going to show up really well when you look at the card straight on, but more when you look down into the card. And I kind of like that about making a scene in these, is that you can see different things from different angles. You can see different things when you close the card, from the back of the card, and all of that. So that is my scene. It's pretty easy to do. I also love when you stick something on a strip of acetate and you could stick it to the back of one of those bars and have it be like a floating image. I love doing that, but there was nothing in this card I felt like, oh, I got to do that. But I've made a bunch of these cards. I will try to link a couple of my other videos with this box set because I just love it. It's so much fun to build a scene in these, and then you just take extra images, you stick them on the tabs on the back like I'm doing here. I also like the back for a place to write your personalized message for this card. So I did the plaid paper on the back, but it's a really subtle plaid. I feel like with a black pen I could just write right over it, but it would still be fun and interesting on the back side there. So little chicks on the flaps, and now it's time for the sentiments, which I did already have stamped and die cut out in my set. So I'm going to use those. There's a bunch of punny sentiments in here. You can see I'm going to use them and add them on with the happy birthday in this set. And this one says, "You're still a spring chicken." I love it. That's really cute. All right, so those are both going on that big flap. So that's kind of my main sentiment area, but I also like to put something on the back wall, I'm gonna call it. So it says, "You're the coolest chick." Love it. And then I'm gonna do the made from scratch, which you could use on any card, right? But I'm gonna have this be on the back side with my other chicken there. And then the one that says "Oh Cluck," there's also one that says "Good Cluck." I'm going to cut the O and the good off, which by the way, you could use together to say, "Oh, good." Like, "Oh, good, I didn't miss your birthday." But I wanted just the word cluck, and I'm going to put those with my little chicks on the back, even though they probably say peep, 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 right? All right, it's fine. All right, so for the outside, I wanted to add something fun. So I brought out my modern embossed alphabet set. I love this. It does a little embossed line around the outer and inner edges of all the letters. It's very cool. And I'm trying to strategically place these on this particular buffalo plaid paper. All this paper was from one pack, and I've had it for years, so there's no way for me to link it. It's just a lesson in using what you have, right? And I'm sure you can find other buffalo check papers and chicken wire papers out there on the World Wide Web. And so I did "Hey Chick," and then I thought I'd put a couple chicks around the letters. So I did that, and it just adds to it. You know, just those little touches. Love is in the details. I always say I had to add one more at the top because I just had to. I couldn't stop myself. And then the letters, because some of the edges are white, I decided I would go in and give them a little bit of a shadow just by coloring really lightly with this dark brown marker. I still wanted the warmth that this card had with that really dark yellow color, so I decided the brown was a good way to go, and just it gave it a little bit of a shabby chic kind of vibe, that, you know, farmhouse feel, and I love that it helped the letters pop. And then I had to do one more chicken or rooster, and I added a little blue tan because there was a lot of rooster images with blue, and I loved that look. So there is my box card. You could just endlessly decorate these, you know, but they're really easy to do because you're like, oh, add one thing to this flap, but also it's okay if you just had pattern paper on those flaps too. So there is my wide box slimline card, another box die I hope you check out from Trinity Stamps. It is absolutely one of my favorites, so I tend to make them quite often. So thank you so much for watching. Here's a couple extra videos with wide boxes for you, and I will see you all again very soon on the next video and on Trinity Stamps Instagram and Facebook as well. Bye.